Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Christy Lemire, Matt Atchity. A couple of interesting films this week. Haywire, Steven Soderbergh's movie with Gina Carano, who is a giant turn-on in everything she does in this movie.
She's a badass, yeah. 5'8" MMA superstar Gina Carano in her first film role as Mallory Kane. I love that name. That's a good name. She is this special ops badass who does a mission for the government in Barcelona, ends up getting double-crossed. Huge all-star cast: Ewan McGregor, Michael Fassbender, Michael Douglas, Channing Tatum. I think he's a star. Does he count? Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. Negotiations broke down. Fix it. The story will be that she's gone rogue.
You can tell me right now why you sold me out, or you can tell me in 10 minutes when I have my hands around your throat.
Haywire.
I've never done a woman before.
You shouldn't think of her as being a woman. That would be a mistake.
So during the course of the movie, she kicks Channing Tatum's ass.
She kicks everyone's ass.
Michael Fassbender, Ewan McGregor, and then some other guy.
Right. I love that they were so concerned in these fights that she would hurt her co-stars. Like, they had to stunt fight it to soften it on her side, so she wouldn't beat the crap out of them and kill them.
She's so bad. You know what's awesome. One of the things I loved about this movie, you know, you go into it and you're thinking, okay, this woman's never done a movie. She's carrying the whole movie. And you know, admittedly, you're a little nervous.
Yes.
And as soon as the movie starts and there's a fight scene right off the bat, you just completely forget about that. And I love that you've got, you know, you've got a star who is not an actress pretending to fight. You know, it's somebody who clearly knows how to fight, and it's a subtle difference. You know, you see her, she moves like someone that you don't want to fuck with.
But also, Soderbergh knows enough to let the fight scenes play out.
Yes. Totally.
And there's no music, there's no needless cuts. It's just like the rhythm of the kicks and the punches.
They're shot on long shots, and you can see that it's
really
her.
smart.
Right. There's no stunt double for her. That's very. I mean, we know there wouldn't be, but if you didn't know anything about her, you would know that you were seeing this woman fight.
But even more so than that, there's a confidence to the way she holds herself.
Yeah.
Right, like she's aggressive in the way that she stands that you don't see in something like, as much as I loved Colombiana, you don't see that out of, you know, other actresses.
Or Angelina Jolie in Wanted, which was a badass movie, but yeah, but no, I agree.
Like in one of the first fight, or maybe the second fight, who cares? She runs a guy down who she doesn't have to fight.
Right.
Like, they could let this guy go, but she clearly is like, no, I want to beat the crap out of this guy, and I think I think you see that confidence there. Yeah, I loved how Soderbergh shot the scenes. I mean, which was again like it's one of the few things that I could have thought, well, I could have shot that. But that's in this rare case, that was actually a good thing. Yeah. Sort of pull the camera back and let her go.
And she's a little stiff dialogue-wise, and we should mention the big to-do about the fact that her voice was tweaked in post. Well, that's not really her speaking.
There's a debate about to what extent, I guess.
Right.
Although you heard...
She did this podcast, this MMA podcast, where she acknowledges that, yes, they did tweak her voice in post. And Soderbergh said in an interview with Reel's Channel, I want to say, that they did everything they possibly could. It's her, it's her speaking, but they've just made it...
And if you watch her interviews, she does sound a lot different in this, right? She doesn't kind of sound. I mean, in interviews, she kind of sounds like a little bit of a party girl. I mean, you know, no offense, Gina, don't kick my ass, or do kick my ass.
We mean that in a good way.
Right?
We like party girls,
right? Exactly. No, but she sounds a lot different in this. But I wasn't aware of that going into it.
Neither was I.
And it doesn't really matter because you're not really there to hear anyone talk.
And a lot of it is like a silent film. I mean, a lot of it's just her running or scheming or manipulating stuff.
Great runner.
She's in good shape.
And she's very matter of fact. You know, she's very serious. And one of the things I liked about it is that there aren't, like you'd see in a lot of other movies, there's never that moment of emotional breakdown. Like, oh God, why is this happening to me? Why is everyone after me? What the heck? You know, like, she's out for revenge, but it's almost like a professional level of revenge.
She has her shit together.
Right? She's got her shit together, but it's you know, she's, you know, a job goes down. I don't think this is a huge spoiler. A job goes down badly. She gets framed, and things, you know, she starts taking people out. But it's not, you know, in hysterics, or even with a male star, you'd see somebody like get really pissed off and really angry. She's more like just cold and calculating almost.
This reminded me, I'm sorry, this reminded me a lot of The Limey. in that it seems unusual for Soderbergh to make an action movie, but this reminded me of that kind of revenge action thriller like The Limey.
And the same screenwriter.
It's the same screenwriter, yes. But then you have, like, you know, the color-coded palette scheme of Traffic or whatever. So it's very Soderberghian.
And even though the story itself, the plot is arguably complicated and at moments hard to follow, the story is actually fairly simple. Like, if you can get beyond the part that sometimes I can't quite figure out how this person would have known something then, it doesn't matter. In this case, it really doesn't.
I think it's part of the fun. It's told in flashback. It's a little disorienting at times. That's part of the fun.
And I was reminded of who's the kid in Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close? Right. Okay.
Thomas.
So, that kid.
Somebody.
But like I felt.
She could totally kick his ass.
Oh yeah, she would have hammered that little 8-year-old boy.
Thomas Horn.
No, please don't hit me again.
Flashbacks to Ben's childhood.
Daldry, with an inexperienced actor, I thought hung that kid out to dry and put him in circumstances where it was very difficult for him to achieve, and it was very easy for people, I thought, to wince. Right. Here, with an equally inexperienced on-camera performer like Soderbergh, by making her very serious, never try, like, he helped her out enormously. He doesn't ask her
to do a lot of overly emotional things. He doesn't push her too hard. He plays to her strengths. I think you bring up a great point, and I think that's very admirable on Soderbergh's part.
Yeah, and not make her have to act.
No, she acted, but he helped her. He just didn't put her in situation without seeming like you were giving up big emotional moments that needed to be there. He managed to put her in situations
he plays to her strengths.
Where she'd succeed. I'm very curious. I would love to see where she is in 5 years.
If she wants to continue acting, you mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I think she should, and I'd be curious how much better she gets and how much more range they can give her and stuff, because she's a very impressive on-screen performer.
She has a lot of
and who doesn't remember when she beat Elena Maxwell in Strikeforce Triple Threat? Huh? Oh, man. The first time I've ever seen a movie star who really gave Elena Maxwell the what for. What that means. Who's Elena Maxwell? Okay, numbers. I think we all liked it.
8?
9.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.3. It's good. It's fun. People should go see it. That's an 8.4 overall for Haywire. Go see it.
Bye. What's in the cup?
Just coffee.
With Kahlua.
I've started drinking coffee black. I feel cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Manly?
I feel more manly.
Good.
Whiskey and coffee.
You start smoking soon.